My most pivotal moment in Vietnam as a nurse was my first day. I just jumped off the helicopter and walked into the medical facility with my bags, looking for my supervisor. The chief nurse and one of the doctors quickly approached me and ordered me into the operating room. I had taken one step into the operating room, and they wheeled a soldier by me who was missing both of his legs. They were blown off. When you see the people before they've had surgery, it's not a clean thing that you're looking at. It's a real mess. And I think one of his arms was also blown off. They had probably 6 IVs going into the sky and all hanging blood, and they had extra blood down below the stretcher on the gurney. At that moment, all of my senses were assaulted. There was the metallic smell of blood, the smell of burned flesh mixed with the smell of explosives that wafted in the air. I couldn't take my eyes off those ragged and raw bloody stumps where his legs used to be. I don't remember seeing even his face. U.S. Army Nurse Laura Kern tells her story of going to Vietnam. The stench was unbelievable as we landed and exited the plane. This overpowering smell hit us. It was just like a mixture of garbage, rotting fish heads, and rice. Next, the humidity and temperature hit you. It was like hitting a brick wall. It was something that I had never felt before. Walking through the heavy air was almost a physical feeling because it was so incredibly humid. It was August when I arrived, and the temperature and humidity were probably around 100 degrees. From the plane, they rushed us onto buses parked on the tarmac with protective chicken wire on the windows and doors. I was later told the chicken wire prevented grenades from being thrown into the buses. I remember vividly when they got us off the buses and rushed us into the main terminal as all my senses were off the charts. The terminal also housed all the troops leaving to go home. And I remember hearing these strange noises as I entered. It was the sounds of hundreds of soldiers doing those handshakes that seemed to go on forever. They were all a little thinner than most of the newer troops. Maybe that's why I thought they looked a little sloppy. Their faded and tattered uniforms hung off them. But they weren't just leaner, they also gave off a feeling of edginess. They were allowed to go home in their uniforms, while we nurses had to wear our dress uniforms. I was in stockings, a skirt, and high heels doing all this traveling. These guys were glad they were going home, but I think their underlying anger was because most of these guys were drafted. They didn't choose to go to Vietnam. Besides the edginess, I also sensed something else surprising. They looked at us with what I perceived as pity. We were just starting our tour, having no idea of what was about to come, and they were getting on that plane to leave. To read Laura Kern's full story plus over 20 more harrowing stories of women who served and fought in war, please check out the book, Women in War, a gripping collection of the untold true stories of history's bravest women warriors by David Usick, available now on Amazon as a paperback and ebook. God bless our nurses.